So, well, let's start on time for once. Starting with call to order at 4:30.
Yep.
And let's begin roll call.
Smith present.
Coyne present.
Zalad here.
Bacon present.
Big present.
And Keequan present. Moving on to item 3, approval of tonight's agenda. Can I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda, please?
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Coyne, supported by Mr. Big, to approve tonight's agenda. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, the same. Hearing none, motion is approved. Going on to agenda item number 4, new business. And 4A, the 2019 annual report. Public comments and questions.
So
You want to take that over, Rodney, please?
if I may, I'll just say a few words. We have one member of the public with us, Nicole Frost is here, and I went ahead and promoted her to panelist in case she has any comments. But just a quick summary. You have in your packet the first 2 memos, and the first one is entitled An Annual Synopsis of Economic Development Authority Activities. And this is the annual report for 2019. The Public Act 57 of 2018 requires us to provide an annual report every year of the EDA activities in the 2 DDA districts. And so that's what this first document is. This is posted on our website. It's been available since mid-June, when it was drafted on June 15th. And per the state act, the information is per the state act. Number 1, the staff contact information. The second thing is a list of all of our current contracts in 2019. There were 11 contracts. 10 of those are ongoing, active. The last one, the Plant Moran contract, at the bottom of the chart, was for assistance in putting together these reports and understanding what we need to do to comply with the new state law, Public Act 57. So the other 10 contracts are all for ongoing activities in the DDA districts. Next on page 2 is a statement of expenditure of funds. The key item here is the note about the requirement that we expend our tax increment revenues within 5 years. That's the preference under the state law. As it notes here, our finance director, Sherry Teal, did confirm that we are expending our funds consistent with that. I will say that we do have some projects that are pending work, including some water and sewer work and some road work that has been delayed, mostly by COVID-19, and so we will be expending some hopefully some additional resources in the new year to get some projects done as those projects move forward. Then on page 3 and 4 of this memo, we have the list of accomplishments in 2019. that were done. The holiday lighting and refurbishment of all of our benches and waste receptacles. The big one, the new welcome banners, of which the fall banners are up at the gateway over at the freeway interchange, if you'd like to see them. And then also completion of the repaving along South Lincoln from Pickard Road south to Remus. And then finally, we have projects that were ongoing and investments ongoing in 2019. You see a number of things there that are underway, and then events and promotions, and then finally progress towards our development plan and tax increment financing plan goals on page 4. I'm happy to answer any questions about this report that may come up. And as I said, Nicole Frost is with us. She is unmuted if she would like to make any comments. She's certainly welcome to do that. We don't have any other members of the public here.
Thank you, Rodney. This is Nicole. I appreciate the invitation to join this meeting. Just as a capture district, I'm very interested in hearing about the goals and plans that you have. So just here to observe. Thank you.
It looks like Rick Bartz has a question. You're muted at the moment. I've asked you to unmute.
Okay.
There we go.
But anyhow, we have a lot of ongoing things here. And then one of them, I know Jameson Park, we were looking at doing the segments. And I can't remember how much did we roughly, I know the project was quite extensive. How much did we appropriate for this year? Do you remember off the top of your head?
I don't recall right offhand, but it's essentially, you might call it a phase 1 of improvements, right? Yeah, there were a number of things that were, I think there were some elements that the bids came in higher than expected. And so they were put parking lot expansion and some other elements that were put in phase 2. But I don't recall exactly what the phase 1 funding was, but it did definitely include a new play structure, which is up at the, it has been installed. There is also a number of other improvements to the building that are in process at the moment.
Seems like there was something going on with building assessment too, to find out what the conditions of items that needed some repair were in.
Yeah, there's certainly the building in particular. There was a assessment done of the building to determine what needed to be upgraded, and that was done. And as I said, I believe there are projects that are in process right now related to the building improvements.
Okay. Yeah, that's the only question I have. I was just trying to, I can't remember where we're doing the whole thing at one time. I didn't think we were, but I was good. Just most of the parking lot, the playscape, and some minimal things inside. Okay. Yep. Fine.
Yeah, there are a number of other potential projects, but they're not funded yet. They're on our list actually of potential future funding.
Okay, that's all I have.
Rodney, I just want to say, the synopsis is very, very well written. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. You have accomplished a lot. You did accomplish a lot, actually, and sometimes it's nice to just see it in black and white. I congratulate you on what you did in 2019, and looking forward to working with you to do more yet.
Did you have any action requested, or do we just do it?
Actually, there's no formal action needed. This is entirely informational. So if there are no other questions or comments, you can step to the next agenda item if you'd like.
Hearing-
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Point of order. We are probably not going to do many actionable motions at these particular types of meetings. Is that correct?
That
We
is
should
correct.
not be voting on budgets or bids at these 2 annual meetings, right?
That is correct. These are strictly for information for
Yep,
the public
okay.
and for the taxing jurisdictions.
Yep, just for the record.
Yeah, we can move on, Rodney, to the next agenda item.
All right. Well, I just give a summary. The second memo you have in your packet is titled Informational Meetings. It's dated September 3rd. And this was intended to give some background on, basically give some background on the informational meeting itself, but to also focus on our projects for this year and for the coming year. So starting at the bottom of page 1 of that memo, you'll see the current projects and activities. Many of these are carried over from 2019, but you'll actually see the list is longer, including some things that started in 2020 and some things that are budgeted for but the work hasn't started yet at the time that this was written. Here we have some of the pump station work. The Jameson Park is referenced. The Lincoln Road construction. And on page 3, you'll note the item Q up at the top. You'll note funding and support of new sidewalk construction along the west side of Lincoln Road from the Lux Funeral Home north to the Township Hall. That's an item that will be going out for bid this week and hopefully this coming week. I'm sorry. Our engineer Rowe is working on the details for that. You also see that at the bottom item T, the annual payment to the Convention and Visitors Bureau, which is something you added in July to your list. And then in 2021, looking ahead, at what's coming in the new year, we have a summary of the planned projects for the East and the West DDA districts. These are based on the conversations we've been having over the past few months. You'll see there, you'll note item number 1, the project to map the street lighting and irrigation systems and get them into the MISDIG system, updating our development plan and tax increment financing plans. Also looking at grant programs potentially for landscaping beautification as well as pedestrian access based on our current development plan. Potential sewer work on Somerton, or water and sewer work. Wrapping over to page 4. As I said, these are all projects that were the high priority projects that we discussed over the past few months, the items that you identified as high priorities. The one that you may not have seen before, although we've talked about sidewalks, item number 8, and there's actually a typo in it. It says complete the construction of new sidewalks within the county road right-of-way along the west side of Lincoln from, it's supposed to say Remus Road, north to McDonald Park in the Township Hall. And then item 9 is new sidewalks both sides of Remus Road from Bradley Street west to Lincoln. Both of these items are in the West EDA district. These are items that our development plan supports, and we did discuss generally sidewalk improvement projects, but these were specifically identified by our Sidewalks and Pathways Prioritization Committee, which is a committee of the Planning Commission. That every year they identify their priorities for getting new sidewalks installed, and so these were their project priorities. They're the highest priorities to do, and they have been included in the requested budget for 2021. So you'll be seeing that as an item for your approval at your next meeting as part of looking at the 2021 fiscal year budget. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about this informational meeting memo.
Okay, I have a question. I may have missed, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I may have missed that. Was there any sidewalks going in on Bluegrass?
The sidewalks, yes, on Bluegrass and Broomfield is part of the project for this year. Sidewalk construction. Our engineer, Rowe Professional Services, has put together a construction plan for filling in the gaps along both roads. So Bluegrass, the intent is to complete the gaps on Bluegrass as well as some gaps on Broomfield, as well as the construction, as I was mentioning, on South Lincoln Road, from the Lex Funeral Home north to McDonald Park and the Township Hall. Those are all part of funding this year. They're all part of construction plans that Rowe is wrapping up, and according to their schedule, they will be taking them out for bid this week or next week. They're starting the bidding process to get those projects built.
So you're saying Bluegrass is on the plan for 2021?
Yes. Now, there's, in addition to work the township is doing on Bluegrass, we have a commitment from Menards to put a sidewalk in along their portion of their Bluegrass Road frontage. So a large chunk of that is part of a site plan approval related to Menards. The timing of that is related to when they do their project, but we're looking at doing some work this year yet.
Okay, yeah, I've been waiting for that for a long time. There's a lot of people that live in my corridor. There's low-income housing, there's 55 and over, and there's university students, and there's businesses. So I've been asking that for many, many years. And so when I hear that Lincoln and Remus are getting theirs first, that wasn't even in development when I was starting to ask for sidewalks on Bluegrass.
No, they're not getting them first. They're funding for next year, potentially. Oh. And it's just potential at this point.
Okay, all right. That was just a big question that I had. Thank you, Rodney.
Yep. I think Rick Bartz had a question.
Yeah, Rodney. Yeah, no, I agree with the sidewalks on Bluegrass. That's getting pretty busy. There's been a lot of issues out there. The question I had though, the Bluegrass sidewalks, they're not part of either East or West EDA. Are you talking about these being done by the township in general?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to clarify that. Yes, these are sorry, we have the supervisors coming. I had to stop and let him in as a panelist. So yeah, these are projects, Bluegrass and Broomfield, that are general fund budget items. They're not part of the DDA funding. What I will say related to sidewalks, the sidewalk committee will be meeting on October 5th. I think it's at 6:30. They'll be doing it via Zoom. So if you're interested in talking about sidewalks, and they're going to be looking at long-term priorities. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to jump into that meeting. You'll see the link to it on our website very shortly, I suspect. And you're certainly welcome to participate.
That would be wonderful, because I have been to many Union Township meetings and still haven't gotten anything done. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Other questions or comments about our current projects or planned projects for 2021?
This is Tom. I just had another quick comment. Speaking of appreciation, and this is our public interest, public comment, invitation meeting, annual. And I just want to say I really appreciate all you board members who have stuck in here and spent a lot of time working on this. I think we have a great group to get these projects done, and bring them on the table, bring them to fruition. The bluegrass and that is outside the east and west districts. Just got to remind you guys that. I like the enthusiasm, support for the township.
I want my sidewalks. I guess if it is out, maybe this is the time to ask for a vote at some point to include a DDA in my quadrant of Union Township.
That's a conversation for a different day, I'm afraid. But we are looking at, as you know, we are looking at for 2021. One of the projects is to update the development plans and tax increment financing plans for both DDA districts.
Right.
And so we included in the potential scope of work to ask the consultant to help you evaluate whether or how to expand potentially the East DDA district. We have a neighborhood in mind that's partly in the district and partly out. That I think it would be helpful to have the entire neighborhood in that district, but certainly other elements can be looked at. The challenge with expanding a DDA is meeting the requirements of the state law. It is probably going to be a stretch to try to expand the East DDA all the way down to bluegrass. But nonetheless, the township has committed the funding to do this sidewalk work. It's already in the budget. The construction plans are already underway. And we've been working very hard with developers, no matter where they are in the township, to try to get sidewalks in and done. There's in fact been some work in the East DDA on some small projects where we've gotten new sidewalk connections in or pieces of the puzzle done. So that's always a priority for us to try to get that public sidewalk network extended further.
Should I ask a question on the sidewalks? How wide are they?
They have to meet the requirements of our ordinance, and it depends on where they are. So I think that's what I would suggest for that is save that question for the sidewalk committee, if you'd like.
Okay. Yeah, because I think it's really important. I just got back from Traverse City and I went biking the whole weekend. And I'll tell you what, Traverse City has their act together because you can bike everywhere. Their sidewalks are at least 5 foot wide. So there's plenty of room for people that are walking and plenty of people for biking. And it's really nice. I'd love to see that for all of Isabella County.
Yeah. Other questions or comments about the 2020 or 2021 project elements?
Yeah, Rodney, on the stuff along Lincoln Road, that's all going to be in the right of way. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, the West DDA boundaries are for most of Lincoln Road are just the road right of way. Once you're immediately north of the Remus Road business area. So yes, that would all take place in the road right of way.
Okay.
Yeah, Rodney?
Yes, sir.
You mentioned the error in number 8 about the construction of sidewalks. And I know we had this, actually it was one of the priority plans. We were discussing at I think one of our last meetings, not last week, but last month. And I think Commissioner Zalad was specific that if we weren't talking about sidewalks on Lincoln, I'm talking between Broomfield and High Street, Remus Road.
Yep.
I believe we were talking about maybe widening the asphalt where you could have bike and walking paths along that road. I mean, and again, I believe it required more right of way or something. I'm not too sure, but I just wanted, even though you have it, you say it's an error. I know we did discuss it.
Well, and that's how it crept in there, because we've been talking about road projects all the way down to Broomfield, and of course we have funded a road project south of the river down to Broomfield. So I have a meeting next not next week after next with the road commission, where we're going to be talking about several things of mutual interest, and that's on my list to talk about it. The roads and sidewalks all along that area. And trying to coordinate how we get this done in an efficient way, in a way that we're not spending money that then gets torn out because when they do a road project, we want to make sure it's all coordinated properly. Yeah, certainly the Lincoln Road has road projects, and on my list to talk to them about is the idea of an on-street bike lane element to include in that. in addition to any potential off-street sidewalks or pathways.
So I kind of, Rodney, I kind of caught that real quickly. Is you said that sidewalks from the river south to Broomfield?
No, item in the second memo in our packet, under planned projects for 2021, item number 8, it had a typo in it, and it said it referred to a sidewalk project on the west side of Lincoln Road. It was supposed to say north of Remus up to the Township Hall to finish that sidewalk. Instead, it said north of basically from Broomfield north. So
okay.
that's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. I was gonna like, when did that happen?
Yeah, no. So, and this was talking about the planned 2021 projects. These are items that are in the requested budget. I said these are all obviously pending Township Board and your approval and Township Board approval of funding. But these are the items that have been included in that requested budget. So you as at EDA, you'll see your budget, I believe next month. I think that's the plan. And then ultimately we'll go to the Board of Trustees after that.
So where's Row Engineering as far as having the engineering portion of that sidewalk completed? So
the as we were talking earlier, the 2020 projects. Now that one, the 2020 projects include work outside the EDA, the DDA districts, and that's what we're talking about with Cheryl Hunter. But the project in the West DDA, which is the sidewalk on the west side from the Lux Funeral Home north to the Township Hall, they've finalized their construction plans, and according to their schedule, they will be taking those out for bid, inviting bids this week. I think it's the 24th September 24th was what was on their schedule. I haven't talked to them yet this week, but last time I talked to the engineer a week ago, they were on schedule to do that.
Okay.
Rodney, I have a question on the sanitary as far as, is there any planning that's being looked at for extending sanitary or connecting? I know the area that is between the two ends where the sanitary ends on Broomfield just to the east of the golf center, and then it ends on the north side of the bridge on Lincoln Road. And there's no extension of that. And I don't know if it's because the city has their sanitary in that area. And I don't know if we're looking at that as a potential future plan.
That is an area that I think in part is within the area that the master plan for the township identifies as a rural preserve, an area that's not intended to be served with public utilities. So that I'm not aware of any plans to extend those utilities further in that particular portion of the township.
My thought is as soon as Lincoln and Broomfield intersection is completed, that they're going to have to revisit that master plan pretty quickly, because there's no way in God's green earth that corridor back to the campus is going to be rural preserve.
But it's certainly an area that obviously is a transition from urban ultimately to rural as you go east to west.
Yeah.
And the master plan is a document that is reviewed regularly and has to be. But extensions of utilities have to be handled very carefully because you can stimulate development where you don't want it if you're not careful. We do certainly have plenty to be doing within the existing system to maintain it and improve upon it. Other questions about the 2020 or 2021 projects?
Hi, Rodney. This is Tom Keekwam again. I just wanted to remind everybody this is our public hearing. Tonight is our goal, and I encourage everybody to bring these questions, comments, and enthusiasm to our regular EDA meeting October 20th. And then we also have October 27th, basically another public informational meeting. Is that correct, Rodney?
That's correct. It'd be the same agenda, the same information. So if there's anybody else that has questions or would like to hear about it, that's what that meeting is for. We're required to schedule 2 of these informational meetings per year. For next year, we're going to spread them out better. This one, we had to, by nature, we had to squeeze them in, but next time they'll be spread out.
Do we have anything else? Hearing nothing, I think we can call this meeting adjourned. 5:01 p.m. Appreciate everybody's participation, and I'll look forward to hearing from everybody October 20th and the 27th of October. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for your great questions.
Thank you.
Hey, adjourned.